started in October 2025 after I received a threat from Cece, who's the leader of the official Marvel Rivals creator group. This threat to me came after I made 2 videos basically clearing my name from lies that Luciasa, who's another member of this group, told about me.
You ever seen someone act like a total victim? Then boom! Screenshots drop and the whole internet flips on them. That's exactly what just went down. And trust me, this mess is about to get way nastier for 3 streamers who thought they could hide behind fake smiles. If you've been keeping up with the Marvel Rivals tournament chaos, you already know what's up. A pro player named Kingsman just got booted from a $40,000 event. Yeah, 40 grand on the line. The official story, toxic behavior. But let's be real, that explanation never made sense from the start. Kingsman wasn't raging, wasn't talking trash, and definitely wasn't throwing games. All he did was tell his squad to focus up and take the matches seriously. He even suggested switching off those 0 kill, 0 assist picks that were tanking the team's chances. That's not being toxic, that's just being competitive. Everyone watching could see that, but right when folks thought the situation had calmed down, it exploded again. Out of nowhere, Kingsman dropped a massive Google Doc filled with everything. Discord logs, screenshots, private DMs, receipts so heavy they could crush a career. Sponsors started bailing out within hours, and the tournament staff suddenly started backpedaling fast. Some people were scrambling, wiping chats, deleting messages, and praying no one caught them in the act. What looked like a small controversy just turned into a full-blown online earthquake. But people did notice, and that's when everything went completely off the rails. A creator named Anti-Grow jumped in and hit the gas hard, dropping even more receipts that made it impossible for anyone to twist the story anymore. From that moment on, the whole narrative crumbled like a cheap prop. Here's where it gets wild. Kingsman wasn't even planning to post those screenshots at first. He actually tried to chill and let it slide, until a new batch of leaked messages showed up that changed everything. That's when he said, "All right, enough's enough," and dropped the document that broke the internet. He called it the CC files. That name alone had everyone's attention locked in like it was a blockbuster reveal. Inside that doc, absolute chaos. People spotted Discord messages from someone Kingsman was almost sure was Cece herself, chatting directly with Z's boyfriend Kaplan. And these messages weren't mild. They were shocking. They spelled out a full-on plan, telling Kaplan to jump on alt accounts, record clips in secret, and grab any footage that could help push Kingsman out of the team. Then came the line that made the entire internet lose its mind. It said that Kingsman was replaceable and that there were plenty of people online who could take his spot.
But in regards to me telling him to shut the fuck up, that is the only thing I think I am 100% justified in, because Zaza said, "You're making me feel like shit." When somebody on your team is like saying that, I'm immediately just put off.
Ouch. Meanwhile, Cece was out in public swearing she had nothing to do with his removal. Yet the screenshots showed her whole crew plotting behind the scenes to make sure he was gone. The hypocrisy had people fuming. That wasn't a misunderstanding. That was straight up coordinated plotting to push someone out. The irony's insane. They called their best player replaceable while he was literally carrying the squad, putting up stats like 18 kills and 2 deaths, and keeping the whole team from falling apart. But because he actually cared about winning and wanted to take the $40,000 tournament seriously, they spun it like he was killing the vibes. What kind of logic is that? And that excuse? It aged terribly. Things blew up even harder when people started lining up what was said publicly versus what was being whispered in private. Out in the open, their posts were full of fluffy PR talk, miscommunication, shared accountability, learning experiences, all that damage control nonsense. But behind the scenes, it was pure chaos. They were demanding content deletions, tossing around fake harassment claims, and trying to pressure Kingsman into backing off, even though all he was doing was defending himself with receipts. Then came the part that had everyone's blood boiling. Mental health being used as a weapon. Anxiety's real, panic attacks are real, mental health matters. But using those real struggles as a tool to guilt trip someone into silence while still throwing shade at them, that's not empathy, that's manipulation. People weren't fooled for a second, they saw it for what it really was. Tactical guilt tripping disguised as vulnerability. The whole play was obvious. Make Kingsman feel guilty for telling the truth, spin the narrative so he looked like the bad guy hurting others, and hope no one checked the actual evidence. But this time, the mask slipped. Once the full story came out, everyone saw the pattern clear as day, and so did the sponsors. Within just 2 days of the Cece files dropping, Cece's sponsorships started vanishing one after another. Infinity gone. Back-to-back losses. Her brand took a nosedive fast. Mice didn't hesitate. They dropped her instantly. Then Solaris Gaming came in right after with a public statement saying Cece was completely removed from both their org and their creator program.
I made 2 videos, which I will link in the description below, both of which I said nothing derogatory or inflammatory about Luciasa. Both videos were literally just clarifying the fact that she was literally lying on behalf of me, saying that I said things I never said. So right here is where I received the threat from Cece. I was told verbatim that making videos defending myself would count as harassment and I would be removed from this group. Again, I highly encourage you guys to go watch those videos. They were in no way harassment. It was literally clearing my name. I've actually chosen to remain silent on these issues for about 4 months now. I've gone as far as not associated with most people from this group, and I've chosen to remove myself from certain events such as this tournament that are objectively big opportunities for streamers, specifically because I want to avoid drama.
They didn't sugarcoat it either. They straight up said they don't stand behind behavior that targets or disrespects other creators. And when brands move that fast, you know it's not some cancel culture stunt. It's because what happened was so blatantly wrong that nobody wanted to be anywhere near it. Let's be honest, these companies aren't risking their reputation for anyone. When the behavior's that bad, the consequences hit hard, and deservedly so. People keep talking about accountability, and this right here, this is what it looks like when actions finally catch up. But here's where it gets flat out embarrassing. Cece posted this long, calm, PR perfect message about taking time away from the internet to reflect and work on herself. It sounded so polished, so carefully worded, like she'd gone full growth and healing mode. But guess what? She didn't log off at all. While pretending to be offline, she was literally deleting old tweets in real time. And of course, someone caught her instantly. One tweet in particular blew up fast. It had been sitting on her account for years without anyone caring. A post throwing shade at men in general. When someone replied to it back then, Cece doubled down, saying straight up she hated men. That tweet lived peacefully for ages, untouched. But the moment sponsors started cutting ties and people began calling her out for mistreating a male creator, boom! Deleted like it never existed. So now everyone's asking the obvious question. Did she really have a sudden change of heart? Or did she just panic because that tweet made her look really bad right in the middle of all this drama? That's the thing about the internet. The Streisand effect never misses. Once something's out there, screenshots don't vanish. Trying to delete stuff after the fact just screams panic and makes people dig even deeper. It's basically waving a red flag saying, yeah, I knew this was bad from the start. And that's exactly what happened here. Meanwhile, Bime, the host of the tournament, pulled off one of the fastest backpedals the scene has ever seen. At first, he was talking big, standing firm, saying that removing Kingsman was 100% his decision. No influence, no pressure, just a strict zero-tolerance policy. But then Cece went live and dropped a bomb. She admitted that Bime personally came to her first, asked if the accusations were true, and only made the call after she gave the green light. So now everyone's asking, which story is real? Was it really an independent decision like he claimed? Or did he need Cece's approval before doing anything? Because both can't be true. And honestly, that contradiction says a lot. Now, to give Bame a tiny bit of credit, and trust me, the bar is underground here, he did eventually apologize. He came out and admitted he made a rushed decision based on bad info. That alone puts him slightly ahead of the rest of the crew, who are still pretending they did nothing wrong. But the real question hanging in the air is he truly sorry? Or is this just him realizing the internet flipped and he backed the wrong side? Because accountability hits very different once the public turns against you. At least Bime tried to own his mistake. The rest? They didn't even come close. Lucy, the same teammate who told Kingsman to shut up mid-tournament, decided to double down like nothing happened. She went live, acting fully confident, saying she was completely justified in what she did. But here's the twist. Leaked private messages later showed Lucy trying to apologize to Kingsman, while still saying he was wrong too. So even in private, she couldn't give a genuine apology. It was the kind of half-hearted sorry that makes everything worse instead of fixing anything. And let's not forget, this isn't Lucy's first mess up. She'd already caught heat before for a wild comment that compared support for Kingsman to something totally out of pocket. Her words linked backing Kingsman to supporting Israel. And that's where a lot of people drew the line. It came off forced, random, and unnecessary, like she was trying to make a point that didn't even fit the situation. That single take wrecked her credibility even more and had fans stepping away fast. Then came Zost Stack, jumping into the chaos trying to defend the team's disastrous Black Widow setup on Twitter. She tried flexing that they actually won one match with that broken comp, like that somehow proved it was a valid strategy. But the internet didn't let that slide for a second. Community notes swooped in fast, adding context that even though they scraped one win, the team still lost 8 out of 9 matches. Ouch, that defense crumbled instantly, and she didn't stop there. Zostack followed up claiming she hadn't lied once during the entire situation. But again, community notes came right back and tagged the post with a list of false statements she'd already made. At some point, you just gotta stop digging. This whole thing was painful to watch, like a slow-motion PR crash. But just when everyone thought it couldn't get worse, things took an even darker turn. Because a smaller creator named Anti-Grow stepped up with his own pile of receipts. Anti-Grow came forward with proof that this exact same behavior had already happened to him, months before all the Kingsman drama even started. Back in October 2025, he went through the same treatment. This wasn't some one-time oops moment. It was a full-blown pattern. Anti-Grow explained that he'd made a few calm, factual videos just defending himself after Lucy started spreading false claims about him online. Nothing dramatic, nothing shady, just straightforward posts saying, "That didn't happen, and here's the proof." But what happened next? Straight up wild. Cece allegedly slid into his DMs and threatened to kick him out of the entire Marvel Rivals creator Discord if he posted any more videos clearing his name. Let that sink in for a second. A smaller creator gets dragged publicly, shows receipts to defend himself, and instead of getting support, he's told to stay silent or lose access to all his networking, opportunities, and tournaments. That's not moderation, that's pressure tactics. And the craziest part? Anti-Grow held on to those screenshots for 4 whole months. 4 months of sitting on proof while missing out on events, collabs, and exposure, just because he didn't want to risk retaliation from the same crew now caught in the Kingsman mess. The fear was real, and it said everything about how this group operated when nobody was watching. To make things worse, Lucy had the nerve to accuse him of making those videos for money, then completely vanished when she got called out. No apology, no follow-up, no accountability, nothing. She just ghosted the situation like it never happened. That's when the picture finally became clear. This wasn't just a Kingsman issue. This was a system. Smaller creators were being pressured into silence, threatened behind closed doors, and only got sorry messages once the internet caught them red-handed. And here's the part that really hits different. After all the chaos, all the lies, and all the behind-the-scenes scheming, Kingsman still came out on top. Every attempt to bury him backfired spectacularly. His channel exploded past 200,000 subscribers, his support went through the roof, and the community rallied behind him like never before. The underdog turned into the headline, and the people who tried to break him ended up breaking their own reputations instead. Meanwhile, Cece, Lucy, and Zach, they're watching their careers crumble in real time. Sponsors cutting ties, brand deals vanishing, and community notes tagging almost every post they make. No amount of spin, no polished PR statement, and definitely no deleted tweet can save them now. It's poetic justice playing out live, and the internet is watching every second. But let's be real. It's not satisfying because people wanted them to fail. It's satisfying because accountability finally showed up. When you abuse power in small communities, when you silence creators just to protect your image, and when you try to sabotage someone for giving honest feedback, the truth always finds its way out. And when that truth hits, no fake apology, no staged comeback, and no, I've learned from this post can erase it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you think about this whole situation. I'm reading everything. See you in the next one.